Not every revolution begins with the crack of gunfire. Some begin with a voice that refuses to be silenced by oceans or borders. Brothers and sisters, leaders and delegates of this distinguished gathering, though my feet may not touch the marble of your hall, my spirit walks beside you in this moment of consequence. Distance has not dulled my urgency. I speak because silence would be betrayal. The horizon of our shared humanity demands a voice, and today, that voice must carry across miles, across doubts, across centuries of struggle. When the invitation reached me, it was more than parchment, more than words. It was our history knocking at my door. Gratitude filled me, for too seldom are African voices given the chance to resonate in chambers such as these before decisions are inked and sealed. Too often, our tones arrive as faint echoes after verdicts are cast, as footnotes to stories already written. But in your invitation, I heard acknowledgement that Africa is not a bystander in history's arena, but a player, blooded and unbowed, upon the same field. Yet gratitude is never enough. Beneath it stirs a duty heavier than velvet curtains, heavier than courtesy, heavier even than fear. For if dignity is trampled and we respond with polite silence, silence becomes surrender. If injustice spreads its shadow and our lips remain stitched, complicity becomes our legacy. If the pillars of civilization fracture and we avert our gaze, betrayal stains the hands entrusted with guarding the future. I speak not with the soft armor of flattery, but as one who has walked through the flames of humiliation, as the son of a modest nation that stitched its dignity back together, thread by thread, stone by stone. As a leader scarred by the price a people pay when sovereignty is pawned to foreign hands. My role is not that of a guest chasing applause, but of a partner compelled to speak the truth, because the age of euphemisms has died, buried under the rubble of our unhealed wounds. From Lagos to Damascus, from Ouagadougou to Muscat, our peoples hunger more for honesty than ceremony. If we will not speak truth within these walls, all our flowery declarations become mere paper relics, and our children's inheritance will be disappointment carved in silence. This summit is no routine convocation of pleasantries, no parade of signatures destined to sleep in drawers. It was born not in protocol, but in tremor quake that has rattled institutions and unsettled hearts. From the souk of Marrakesh to the minarets of Damascus, from the pearl-draped skyline of Doha to the red dust of Ouagadougou, shock has threaded through continents like lightning in a storm. Yes, you know the incident I speak of. It has replayed endlessly, dissected in parliaments, screamed through newsrooms, etched into memory. The world has seen dignity mocked, sovereignty defiled, mediation scorned. And yet, history does not feed on the deeds of offenders alone. It feasts not on the trespass itself, but on the reactions or the inactions of those wounded. My brothers, my sisters, history is watching how we respond. And the question that hangs heavy in this chamber is not what happened, but how we will answer it. History does not wait for hesitation. It carves its verdict upon those who choose timidity over courage. The incident that shattered our conscience, as grave as it is, will eventually fade into the shadows of time. People will recall it, yes, but history will file it among countless affronts. What will endure? What will be etched into the monuments of memory is not the violation itself, but our response. Will future generations remember us as leaders who drowned outrage in paper statements, or as leaders who rose from insult with unity and resolve? This is the trial before us now. Shall we retreat once again into the safe refuge of procedure, flooding the desks of the world with statements of concern, expressions of regret, and calls for restraint before quietly returning to the comfort of routine while dignity bleeds away in silence? Shall we console ourselves with the eloquence of empty paragraphs, immaculately phrased, yet destined never to be acted upon? Or shall we summon, at long last, the courage to rise not merely as administrators of protocol, but as guardians of honor? Enough of slogans. Enough of strategies without spine. This is not about condemning a single act, nor staging a season of outrage. The true question that towers before us is this: what kind of nations do we aspire to be? Shall we remain reactive, stumbling behind events as though surprised by every storm, forever appealing to others to respect us while refusing to respect our own power? Or shall we become protagonists, proactive, unyielding, capable not only of shaping destiny, but of defining the terms under which it unfolds? The people who entrusted you with authority are watching. They do not measure your leadership by the fire of rhetoric, but by whether you can shield their dignity when it is struck. They do not assess solidarity by the number of gilded summits you attend, but by the iron of courage you display when sovereignty is mocked. They do not weigh independence by the abundance of flags fluttering above palaces, but by the choices you make without the crutch of foreign approval. The choice before us sparkles with simplicity and burns with gravity. Shall we repeat the cycles of timidity summits turned into theaters of ceremonial indignation? Or shall we declare this very gathering a turning point, the summit where hesitation shatters and fragments fuse into a community bound by principle? Look beyond the incident. Look at the pattern. Each time sovereignty is bruised and our response is hesitant, we invite copycat transgressions. Each time we fracture into camps, waiting for outsiders to mediate, we corrode our own authority. Each time we outsource our dignity, letting our declarations be drafted in distant capitals, we shrink before our own citizens. This, my brothers and sisters, is the true crisis, not what was done to us, but what, through weakness, we allow to be done to our will. So I ask you, shall this gathering dissolve into performance, or shall it become the birth of resolve that history will speak of long after we are gone? Greatness is not measured by the size of a map, but by the courage to reclaim dignity when the world writes you small. I speak not from arrogance, but from the scars of the lived crucible of my homeland Burkina Faso, a country small in geography yet immense in resilience. We have tasted poverty that gnawed like hunger in the marrow, endured instability that rattled our foundations, suffered manipulation by outside powers who thought of us as clay to be bent. We own no oceans of oil, no endless vaults of gold. And yet, when we chose to rise, when we decided to reclaim our dignity and stand on our own 2 feet, we discovered a strength that slept within us. It was not gifted by patrons from afar. It came not from treaties or borrowed protection. It was born from our own sacrifices, hardened by our resolve, ignited by the flame of self-respect. The journey was not easy. Hardship clawed at us. Missteps tested our endurance. Yet each step forward restored a piece of our soul. So I ask you, leaders of nations far larger, richer, mightier, what prevents you from taking the same road? If a small, landlocked country, void of wealth beneath its soil, can begin this climb, what excuse remains for nations where mineral wealth glitters and treasuries overflow? I do not provoke out of arrogance, but out of care. Africa and the Arab world are not strangers staring across distant shores. Our histories are interwoven like ancient tapestries. Our faiths intertwine. Our languages echo one another. Our markets have mingled for centuries. If your people are humiliated, we in Africa feel that sting. When Africa is insulted, you should feel the wound. Our destinies are bound no matter how much foreign powers wish to divide them. Yet too often, your policies are written not in the ink of your own wisdom, but in foreign capitals, approved by interests who neither weep with your mothers nor toil with your workers. Ask yourselves, how many times have your governments acted not as authors of destiny, but as executors of someone else's design? This is the infection beneath the surface. Endless debates on partnerships, alliances, treaties, and strategic understandings dominate your halls, but where is the alliance with your own people? Where is the pact with neighbors who share your blood, your struggles, your prayers? Where is the understanding with Africa, with Asia, with the emerging world, which shares your burdens and seeks the same justice you do? Instead, eyes look outward, believing salvation lies across oceans, while ignoring the strength pulsing in our own neighborhoods. Markets swing open to those who exploit, while doors remain bolted to those who resemble us most. But this is not destiny carved in stone, it is a choice. And choices, like rivers, can change course. Respect for sovereignty is not ornament, it is lifeblood. Without it, a nation is a flag without wind, a palace without foundation. Deny it once and you invite violation again. Refuse to defend it for your neighbor, and you prepare your own defeat tomorrow. Division under insult is not weakness imposed, it is weakness chosen. So I call upon you now, raise your heads above fear and convenience. Build the 3 pillars of dignity, self-respect, and self-reliance. Before history declares you traded your crowns for chains, remember the world you thought you knew is gone. Power has shifted. Those who cannot stand will be trampled by those who can. Because fragmentation invites manipulation. Because hesitation tempts encroachment. Because timidity is not neutrality, it is surrender. My brothers and sisters, the age we stand upon is not the gentle world of yesterday.